Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, One Enlightened Diva, and I am Valerie. I hope you guys are doing well today. I am doing well today. Today, I wanted to share a piece with you. Now, when I share my pieces, don't look at it as just something that I've written. It is wisdom in these pieces. So you have to listen very carefully. Now, let me just say, whatever my beliefs are, it is from my perspective. It's not to change anybody's mind about what they believe in. That is not the point. But it's always good to have different perspectives. Because a lot of times when we believe something, we don't want to hear nothing else from nobody else. It's just like, don't try to change my mind. Don't try to tell me something different than what I believe, because what I believe, that's it, right? But it's also good to have an open mind, right? Because we don't know everything, right? And sometimes, even though we know a lot, but sometimes it's just good to hear other people's opinions and perspectives, right? Because perhaps they can tell you something that you didn't know, or to get you to thinking, right? Or open your mind. So, in saying that, this is the name of the piece. This piece is about heaven and hell. Now, we've been told that heaven is up there and hell is down there, right? And if you do good things, you're going to heaven. And if you do bad things, you're going to hell, right? And if you don't go to church, bad things are going to happen to you. And then you're going to go to hell. But if you do good things and you go to church, then your chances of going to heaven might be a little better than those who don't go to church, right? Now, but anyway, that's what we've been told. Okay. But this is my perspective. What if I told you there is no heaven nor hell? And if you knew this to be true, how would this truth affect you and your beliefs? Heaven and hell are not places we go outside of ourselves. We must understand that heaven and hell are vibrations within us. It's like we are radio, and we can tune into our heavenly selves, our higher self, or our hell selves, our lower self, that's within. I am speaking from a spiritual perspective. There are negative and positive vibrations vibrating back and forth in each of us, each second of the day. Because we are spirits, which is energy, we need to understand that we don't die. And you may say, well, Valerie, what? We don't die. No, we don't die. You see, energy cannot be killed. It cannot be destroyed, only transformed. Now, our bodies that hold our spirits, yeah, they can die, right? But that is not our spirit. Our spirit is within. So when we die, it's just the vessel. But the spirit, it goes on and on and on. We need to understand that before we even came into this world, in this vessel, we were a spirit. We always been a spirit. And right now, walking around, we still spirits in a body. And when we die, this body will die, but that spirit will remain. It will exist. It does not die. It just goes on and on and on and on, right? You can't burn it up, is what I'm saying, because it's a spirit and it's energy, and you can't destroy energy. Let's just think about it. When you think about energy, how can you destroy it? how could you contain it? How could you kill it? If you think about it. If you know that your energy, and if you know that you are a spirit, and if you know that spirit and energy are one of the same, how could it be killed? How could it die? It cannot. You see, only the vessel dies. That's why we go on and on and on and on and on. Right? Now, and let me just say this. It is my perspective. I'm still growing. So it is what it is. But right now, this is what I believe. If you don't go to church, does that mean that you go to hell? Does that mean that bad things will occur in your life? Does it mean that if you go to church, does that mean you're going to heaven? If these places exist? I don't believe so. These are constructs placed on humanity to keep us asleep, to keep us in this religious box. Because if you believe that it's a heaven, and if you believe that it's a hell, then you're going to live your life in a certain way, right? Because you want to go to heaven. Most everybody, if you ask 1,000 people, you want to go to heaven or hell? I'm pretty sure all 1,000 are going to say, I want to go to heaven, right? I don't want to go to hell, right? But think about all of what it takes to go to heaven. That means you got to live your life close to perfect. And you might say, well, you know what? God knows that we're not perfect. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're not perfect. So in saying that, that means that we're going to do some things that aren't godly, or what we consider to be godly. But does that mean now, if we do those things, or if we've done those things and we don't do them anymore, does that mean we're going to heaven? Or does that mean we're going to hell? And you might say, well, okay, well, I used to gamble. I don't gamble anymore. Okay, so, but does that mean now that you don't do it anymore? That means you're going to heaven because you don't do it anymore? Or does that mean you're going to hell because you used to do it? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, y'all. Let me not get too down. Look, I'm deviating from what I've written. Okay, now, I believe that religion has separated us from God, right? I say that to say, because if you believe that there's a heaven, that means that you, as an individual, have to do things a certain way. Now, but if you're doing things a certain way because you want to go to heaven, are you really being who you truly are? Or are you being what society or what religion has told you that Christianity is supposed to look like, right? When you say, well, you know, I'm a Christian. I'm just deviating. And you say that you're a Christian. And so in saying that, that means that since I'm a Christian, I don't gamble and I don't drink and, you know, I don't go to the clubs and I don't listen to rap and I don't listen to certain music and, you know, and I don't curse and I don't cuss. I don't do these things, right? I wear dresses all the time, you know, because, you know, that matters to God what kind of clothes you have on. You know what I'm saying? Now, am I saying you're supposed to come to church with all your breasts out? No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay, let's not get too deep. But what I am saying is, do you think that God cares what clothes you have on, right? Or what you're wearing. A lot of things that we believe when it comes down to Christianity is from man. It's not from God, right? It's what we've been told and what our parents been told and what our parents' parents and parents and parents and parents been told, right? But it originated from somewhere. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the things that we believe, it didn't originate from God. I'm just saying, right? Because, a lot of times man take things and twist it and, you know what I'm saying, and make it in a way where they can benefit. But that's another story. However, back to what I was saying. Like I said, I have been told that when you don't go to church, your chances of being one of the few that will make it to heaven are slim to none. And that bad things will happen to you. But what we need to understand is when bad things happen to us, or what we perceive to be bad, it's called life, right? In life, things happen. Sometimes good things happen, sometimes things that aren't so good. But we need to understand that those things that aren't so good are really ways of that God is helping us to show ourselves what we made out of, right? So when something bad happens and we overcome it, right, it builds strength and confidence, right? We have to have those things that we perceive to be bad happen in our lives, right? Because if nothing bad or what we perceive to be bad ever happened, then we wouldn't grow. And God wants us to grow so we can be the best versions of ourselves, right? But we need to understand also that whatever is happening in our lives, we are creating our own realities. Because we don't know our own power. And you might say, well, what power? The power of our minds. We create our realities by our thoughts, our beliefs, our intentions, and our actions. See, we think that the things that are happening are coming from somewhere, But then when you start growing spiritually, you realize like you're creating your reality. And you may disagree with that, but each individual is creating their own realities based on what you believe, your intentions, your thoughts, your actions. It's like if you always have like that lack mentality, like I don't have enough, I never have enough, then you start believing that. You start thinking it and believing it, and your actions displaying that. And guess what? You're telling God or the universe that you're in lack, right? And so you get more of situations that are lack, or displays not having enough of because of our thoughts. But when we understand that when we think abundantly, that we deserve more, right? And even if in the physical, you don't see that, but if you think it and believe it, right? And not looking at so much what's going on in this physical, because remember, the spiritual is way more real than the physical. And so that's another story also. But I don't want to go too deep into that. Okay, now, as I was saying, let me give you an example about heaven and hell and vibrations. When you're doing something that makes you happy, you are raising your vibration, right? You're sending out this good energy, this good high vibrational energy, right? And a lot of times when you do that, good high vibrational energy comes back to you, right? Now, when you're doing that, you are in your heavenly self, your higher self. However, when you are embracing your hell side or your lower self, that may look like fear. For me, fear. Okay. Or it used to be fear. Let me say that. Greed, control, scarcity, hate, envy, jealousy. All of those are low vibrational emotions, and they come from our hell self, our lower self. But when we have good thoughts like, I'm great and I'm abundant, and I'm just whatever you can tell yourself that can lift your spirits, or even when you lift somebody else's spirits, your words, the things that you're telling yourself, the things that you feel, the things that you're telling yourself, the things you believe about yourself. I can go on and on and on. Those are all high vibrational. Whenever you're doing something that brings you joy, high vibrational. When you're eating something and it tastes so good, you heard somebody say, this pie, it tastes like heaven. Heaven is different for everyone, right? What I perceive heaven to be, like I could say, well, when I meet new people and we get together and we're laughing, that's heaven for me. Or also for me, when I sit around my fire pit or I take a spiritual bath, that's heaven for me. But heaven for you could be totally different, right? Now, as I said, there's a heaven and a hell. Now, your hell self could look like this. I'm just making it up. Your hell self could be, you're able to, let's say you go to work, right? And you and your husband got into a fight or argument, and then you get to work, and you thinking about what y'all had a fight about, and you taking it out on your coworkers, right? See, that's your hell self. And then it may come a point where, you're not mad anymore about whatever happened between you and your significant other. And you calm down and, you come back the next day and you're in a better mood. So you're back in your heavenly self. We going back and forth in our heaven and our hell all the time. And we don't know that. We just think like it's just our emotions. I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling that way. And no, it's within us. Everything is within us, right? And when we understand that it is not a place, right? I feel like when people understand that heaven and hell are not physical places, they will live their life in a totally different manner. But as I said, if you get to a point where you can balance your heaven and your hell that's within you, your light and your dark, and that's another way I could put it, your heaven and your hell are your light and your dark within. When you balance them, that is called mastery. That's mastering your heaven and your hell, right? When you master your heaven and your hell, you understand that life happens, but it's all about responses, right? That you have control of it, right? So if you are mad, you're able to talk yourself off of the cliff, right? By going within. Because you have mastery of your emotions and of yourself. Let me say, that's not an easy task though, to master yourself, but nothing worth having or being is. Now, back to what I was saying. I know I'm deviating. I had a vision where I see people in the church, and the people that are in the church, they don't even want to be there. They are only there because society has made them believe that in order to show respect to God and cultivate a relationship with God, you must go to church. But I am saying you can do that anywhere, at any time. God dwells within you. And when you accept that higher truth, you will understand that we don't need anyone to tell us or lead us to God. You just need a quiet place. Remember, God is within. And that is where you must go. Where your heart and your mind reside. Now, I know, guys, I deviated a bit, but I was just trying to give clarity. And I hope you guys understood where I was coming from. And like I said, it is my perspective and what I feel. Okay? But thank you guys for listening to me. If you have a comment, put a comment down in the comment section. Also, if you like this video, give it a like, share it, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell if you don't want to be notified when I upload a new video. And also, thank you all that have donated and supported my channel. And if you'd like to get that information and donate and support my channel, or continue to donate and support my channel, all of the information is in the description box. Thank you. Bye-bye.